everyone. There's a good crowd. How are you doing? My name's Beth. I'm from Made in Leeds, but this lady doesn't really need an introduction. I'm guessing you all know who Nadiya is. Now, her fan group are called the Nadiators. Have we got any in today? Yeah! How are you doing?
Good.
Applause for Nadiya. Lovely having you today.
Thank you for having me.
I believe this is your first food demo in Leeds.
In Leeds, yes.
In Leeds.
I've done loads since, but...
Yeah, but this is, you know, throughout the Bake Off, everyone's saying, you know, Nadiya lives in Leeds with her kids and her family. How good is it to be back in front of kind of a home crowd?
Yeah, this is awesome. I haven't been back for 4 weeks, so it's really nice to be home.
So what are we cooking today?
We are doing cardamom and coconut whoopie pies.
Okay, a few fans. And we're doing some biscuits, I believe, as well.
Yeah, we're doing some sun-dried tomato and cheese biscuits. Perfect for Christmas.
Perfect. Okay, what are we going to start with first?
Well, I'm going to get you working.
Okay.
Right. So, to start off, we've got to make the actual whoopie pies. And these are kind of a cross between cake and biscuit. It's up to you. You can decide when you eat them what they are. I think they're cake. So
we need 1 egg.
1 egg, caster sugar, and you whisk till you can whisk no more.
Okay.
That's your job.
Thank you.
There you go. To a jug, you add some Greek yogurt.
Has anyone made this at home? Has anyone had a go at this? Just one person. How did they turn out? Were they good? As good as Nadiya's? Okay.
So to the yogurt and the milk, you add the melted butter. And this just makes, the yogurt just makes it kind of light, and it gives it a slight tang, which is really nice. To a separate bowl, you add plain flour, a teaspoon of salt, baking powder, and some cardamom. Be careful, don't use too much, because it can...
How much would you add?
I only use half a teaspoon in this.
Okay.
Just because it makes it taste a little bit medicinal if you put too much.
Yep.
So to this, we are going to add our yogurt mix to the flour. Now we can add that to this. Got it? If you don't want to torture anyone, you can do this in a machine, in a mixer. Sorry.
Cheers, thanks for that.
And then you just give that a good mix. Now this is it's a very thick batter, so it's a very it's strange. So it's a mix between cake and biscuit.
Okay.
So that's why I don't call it a cake or a biscuit. You call it whatever you want. And what you do with it, once you've mixed it all up, you cover it and leave it in the fridge for half an hour. And I know that's really weird to have a batter that's got baking powder to put into the fridge half an hour, because the baking powder is already activated. Yeah. I don't know why we do it, but it works. Once you take it out of the fridge, you just literally put...
It's really sticky, isn't it?
It's really sticky, and it gets really thick in the fridge. So it's a really weird consistency, but it does work.
Yeah. And do you need them quite far out? Will they spread?
Yeah. So you can do 6 to a tray, because when you do bake them, depending on how big they are, they will spread out quite a lot. There we go. So you get them on and get them into the oven.
You don't need to be precious about the shape. You can literally just lob them on there.
I think that's the beauty of a whoopie pie, is that they look a little bit haggard,
okay.
but I think that's just the way they're supposed to look.
It's part of the charm.
Yeah. And then you bake them in the oven at 200 for 13 minutes, no more than that. Any more than that, and they do get brittle. So just 13 minutes. So when they're baked, they will look something like this.
Round of applause.
And we'll get started on the filling.
Okay, so what is the filling? Is this, I see marshmallow fluff.
Right. So unless you've got all the time in the world, which I don't always have, the alternative to this is essentially an Italian meringue. Now, you can make an Italian meringue at home. It's pretty easy. Rowdy. You can make an Italian meringue at home. It's easy. But, sometimes it's easy just to go to the shop and buy a jar. And I've got kids, so I don't have the time sometimes. So you add the butter. There's the butter, we've got the cardamom.
And again, just a sort of half a teaspoon of cardamom.
Yeah, just half a teaspoon. And then icing sugar. And then you just give that a mix.
Just, if you're wearing black, just give yourself a wipe down.
Thank you. Lucky there's one we made earlier, so you don't have to worry about this.
What was more intimidating, this crowd or Paul Hollywood?
Oh, Paul Hollywood. Yeah.
There you go.
I'd
All of
rather
you
do this
put
every day.
together.
Yeah. He's not scary. I think when you're there and they're judging you,
Yeah.
it's like you put all your heart and soul into this tiny little bake, and then he comes and says, don't like it.
He had a soft spot for you by the end of it, though, definitely.
Really?
One
Did
of
you
my
see that? I didn't see it.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. Did you? I didn't.
Yeah, that last episode where he said, happy Nadia, and you just looked up and went, happy Paul.
Oh, I think I'd come out of my shell by that point, and then I was starting to get really cocky. So you've got that's creamed together nicely. I would do it for a little bit longer. And then we add our fluff.
Got a spoon.
Yeah, I love a spoon. Thank you.
So just a nice big spoonful.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. I promise you, this is a winner. This recipe I can't even get to this stage without somebody eating.
Normally
bits
by
of
now
it.
would these have been pinched.
Yeah, they'll have been pinched by now, so it works. We'll let that mix. But in the meantime, what you do is once you've done that, you stick it into a bowl and then leave it in the fridge for half an hour, because it is quite a runny mixture when you're finished with it. So in order for you to be able to pipe it, you need to get it back in the fridge and get the butter in the cream set again. And then I would just put it in a piping bag and then straight into the fridge. So I have got some in a piping bag ready to go.
So does this need to be a particular shape, pattern, or
No.
is it just right in
I'm
there?
really not displaying my piping skills here. And then you
this one?
stick that one on top. That's it. And then just if you leave them there. Can you see I'm doing my face? My stressed out face. Oh my God.
We didn't notice you do that at all on the bake-off.
Did you
I don't
not?
think. No.
Like seriously, this is my really stressed out face.
Who loved Nadia's facial expressions on the bake-off? Some people dubbed it as the best part of the bake-off.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they watching the same show? Because that wasn't the best part. The best part was that lion. Remember that bread lion
Yeah.
face? That was, for me, that was epic.
Your chocolate peacock, though,
It was all right. It was all right.
And didn't your daughter forgot that you'd won?
Yeah. So she was there at the tea party with Paul Hollywood saying to her, your mum just won the Bake Off 2015, those exact words. And she still forgot. I was like, kids, what are their priorities, honestly? It's like she just did not remember. And I remember watching it every week, and she would sit there and like stuck to her granddad's leg saying, oh, I hope my mummy makes it through. And I'm looking at her thinking, I won. Like, what is wrong with you? Why do you not remember that? It just didn't make sense. I was really annoyed with her, actually. I was like, what? How can you forget something like that?
And also, didn't they, because you told, obviously they had to lie for, what was it, 3 months or something?
Yeah.
And then you've obviously told them since lying isn't very good, children, but they're sort of like, well, mummy, you made us lie.
Well, yeah. And we're working on that. I can pay for therapy now, so we're working on it, yeah. So now we fill them, we dip the edges into toasted coconut.
What about your husband? Can he bake, or is he the tester?
He's the tester, definitely. He does not bake. He cannot bake to save his life. But he comes from a family where my father-in-law cooks and everything, but I don't think he's ever had an interest in cooking or baking. So, no, he is just the chief taster in our house.
Yeah.
He has to run 7 miles every day just to keep that cake off. And then let's get some icing sugar. Right, and that is your coconut and cardamom Whoopie Pies.